So hello everyone. Today we are going to learn what is a prime number, right? So how to write a prime number code in Python. So how to display a prime number and composite number, right? And one more program we are going to discuss today. Display the term of a Fibonacci series, right? So the first one is this is the fourth program. So in last video we have discussed about the three videos. So this one is the fourth one. Input number and check if the number is prime or composite, right? So what do you mean with the prime number and composite number? First we should know. So prime number is the number is divide itself and 1 is called as a prime number. Say for example 2 3 5 6 7, these are the prime numbers we can say, because these are the only numbers which divides by a same number and by the 1, right? So what do you mean by the composite number? All the prime numbers are not a composite numbers. Other than prime numbers we can say it as a composite number. Say for example 4 6 8 10, so these are the numbers which divides by too many numbers, so we call it as a composite number. So we'll go with the logic with the program. So by using a IDLE editor, so you can use any editor for this. So I'll be using a IDLE, so you can use a notepad also can be used, right? So the program, so it should take a numbers from the input. So int, so I'll be creating one input variable here. So in input function enter the number, right? So enter the number that you want to check whether it is a prime number or a composite number. Here I'll be using a loop, that is if what, n is equal to 0 and n is equal to 1. So these are the only two numbers, 0 and 1. These are the only two numbers. They cannot become a neither a prime or neither a composite number. So why? Because these two values are never falls into a prime number or a composite number. So for that, if my entered value is, if my n value which I have taken here, if this value, if I enter, if this is a 0 or 1, then I should print a statement. What? Print the number you have entered neither prime nor composite, right? Neither prime or nor a composite values, right? See, after this, if my number is not, if my number is not a 0 and 1, so then I'll go to the elif statement. So elif of what? If n is greater than, if my entered value is greater than 1, anything it may be, a 2 3 4 5, whatever it is, okay? So if it is a greater than 1, then what? I'll be using a for loop. So why I need to use a for loop means it should iterate number of times, because I'll be taking a range here, I in range from where, from 2 to n. So 2, why? Because 0 and 1 never falls into prime or a composite. So that's why I'll be starting my range from 2 to the user enter value, that is a n I have taken, right? So this loop will continue until the user is going to goes on entering the values, right? So next what? If n, n divides I which is equal to 0, if n divides I which is equal to 0, then what? The number cannot become a prime number, because the remainder will be getting, so it cannot become a, it cannot become a prime number. Then I'm going to print what? The number is not prime, but it is composite. right? So how this logic works, see for example the n value which I have entered is a 2, so 2 divide I, so all the values the 2 will come in a I here, then 2 divide I which is equal to 0, but actually 2 is a prime number, so remainder is equal to 0, the number is not prime means what, it should be 1, it should be, sorry, it should be 4, 6, 8 and 10. So these are the numbers are not going to be a prime number, but these are going to be a composite number, so that's why I have used this reminder to be execute this part. Okay, if this done, then what, so I'll be using break here because I want to break the execution. Next, if this is done, otherwise I have to use else what, so I want to print the given number, the entered number is a prime, right? So what if I entered a value, negative values, see here, so if this value is less than 1, so means it may be a -1 or a -2 or any values, then what should I print, it should be, you should enter a valid data, so else part I'll be using for this loop, okay, what I should print what, please enter, so you can give, this is an optional, you can enter anything here, enter positive number, right? Okay, so this is the program, if you want you can so you should save this one, so let us a prime here, right? So let me run this, so enter the number it is asking, suppose if I give a 4, since it is a number is not prime number but is a composite number, okay, so let me use some more values here, okay, go to run. What if I use a value as a 0, so enter the positive number it is asking, okay, so the positive number means, so if the is equal to 0, if the n is equal to 0, it should be what, neither prime nor composite it should print, so but what it is taking, if I give a value as 1, enter the positive number, so directly it is skipping to the else part directly it is skipping to the else part, suppose if I take n is equal to 0 and n is equal to 1, it should be print what, neither prime nor composite, so what is the problem, enter the positive number, so let me check it as a 3, I'll check 3 is a prime number it is taking, okay, so if, okay, so if I take a 5, number is a prime it is asking, so but when I use a 2 comma n, okay, if n is equal to 0 and n is equal to 1, it should be print what, neither prime nor composite, it should not go to the positive number, let me check it as a negative values, so if I use a -2, enter the positive number, okay, so it is a less than 1, for this it is taking whatever the values it is a less than 1, so it is taking as a positive number it is taking, suppose if n is greater than, it should be what, less than 1, if I give 0, number is prime, no it is not a prime, it should be greater only, enter the number is a prime, okay, so one more time, if I give 0, enter the positive number, it should print as what, it is a, check it, enter the positive number only it is taking, why, indentation is very important, unexpected indent it is. So else if n is equal to 0, let me check one more time. Enter the number. So if I use 0 or 1, it is taking composite, so directly it is moving to the else part. Okay, so what is an error here? N is equal to, enter the number. If n is equal to 0 and n is equal to 1, it should print what? Neither prime nor composite. So if n is greater than 1, then it should move to the what? For loop. If this remainder is equal to 0, it should be print as a, the number is not prime but it is a composite and it should break. So if this loop is false, then it should print what? Number is a prime. Okay, let me enter the positive number. Why? So logic is correct here. If n is equal to 0 and n is equal to 1, it should be print neither prime nor composite. It is correct. If n is, if it greater than 1, it is greater than 1 means what? It should be, it may be 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, then it should take either prime or composite number, right? So else part is correct. Let me take this else part here. Invalid syntax. Okay, let me go to the once again. So if I enter 3, number is prime, correct. If I enter 4, it is a composite number, the number is not a prime but it is a composite, that is also correct. But why it is not taking for 0 and 1? When I use a 0 and 1, it should enter, it should give me the value as neither prime nor composite, right? 0, enter the positive number, it is skipping to the else part, directly it is going to the else part. This statement is not executing. Okay, so let me use n is equal to 0, n is equal to 1. So equals to 0 equals to 1, and right, it should be keyword if I use or, let me take it as well, neither prime nor composite. Okay, so the keyword I should use here is a or, because either one of the statement, if it is true, then it should go to the this statement. Okay, whenever you use and, then it should be true for both the values. It should be true for n is equal to 0 and n is equal to 1 also. Then you cannot execute this line. When you use a or, it may be a 0 or it may be a 1. Okay, so when I use a 1 here, so it is executing the next part, that is a or part. So when I use a 0 here, so it is taking what? So both the values. Okay, okay, so here the keyword should be what? Or, if you want to print a neither or nor print statement. Okay, so this is the prime number which I have seen. So the next program is, display the term of a Fibonacci series. Display the term of Fibonacci series. Okay, so first we should know what do you mean by this Fibonacci series here. So Fibonacci series is nothing but it is a sequence of number in which each number is sum of the last two number. Say for example, if I take a term 1 here, it should print what? A 0. if I take a term 2 here, then it print what? 0 and 1. So how it is taking actually, see, the first term is a 1 means once there is only one value, that is a 0. The second term means what? 0 and 1. What is the definition says? It is going to make a sum of first two terms, then it is going to give the next value. So sum of first two terms will be what? A 3 here. So next, if you want to print a third value, that is a term 3. So let me take the number term 3. So that is a 0 first term and 0 is 1 comma 1 is a second term, and it is going to make a sum of these two terms, that would be a 2 here. Next, so the first term will be 1 here and the second term will be a 2 here. After adding these two, then it is going to be a 3. Okay, so this is how the Fibonacci series is going to be added. So the definition says that it is a sequence of number, it is a sequence of number that is going to be add to the last two terms, then it is going to give the sum of the next term. So let me check how this logically works in program. So first, initially n is equal to 0, and so I'll take a one more value here, n2 is equal to 1 here, right? So next terms means we'll give users to enter the value integer. So input, next what? Enter the terms to check, right? Enter the terms to be checked. So if my enter terms, if user enter terms is less than or equal to 0, so less than or equal to 0 means what? Means what? It may be a 0, or less than 0 means it is a negative value. Then what? I should take it as print what? Enter the positive number. Enter the positive number I should take, because I cannot enter a negative values to be continued, right? So next what? So in else part, else, so anyhow n1 and n2 are going to be a standard here. 0 comma 1 should be used first value. So I'll print a n1 and n2, right? So just make it print. So I'll be using a for loop for I in range, for I in range, so 2 comma terms here, 2 comma terms, then what? So I have to execute, I have to use a next term, I have to use a next term that is equal to n1 plus n2 I must use. So I'll explain this logic how it works. Then print next term, print next term, then n1 is equal to n2, then n2 is equal to what? Next term we can say. See how this logic works here. See, first n1 and n2 both are going to be a standard here, because we have to start from something values. See, n1 is equal to 0 is nothing but I have given a term as a 1 here, means the terms, number of terms have been used here is a 1, right? So when I use n2 is equal to 1 means what? The next term which I have used. For example, the user has entered a term as a 2 here, the 0 comma 1 is going to be take, the next term it will give it as a 0 comma 1 is nothing but a 1 only, because there are two terms, 0 and 1 are going to be added here. If my terms is less than or equal to 0, that you cannot give here, because minus value cannot be taken, right? So enter the positive number, you should enter the positive number. Then if my value is greater than 0, if my value is greater than 0, then what? I'll move to the else part. So n1 and n2 already I have taken it as a standard, that is a 0 comma 1. Then what? My for loop will be execute here. See, the 2 comma terms I have taken, this is the range which I am taking, so it should start from the 2, the terms is greater than greater than 2, or so it may be a 2 or greater than 2, because n1 I have taken a 0 and n2 is a 1 here. So next what? Next term is going to be my variable. So if this all executes successfully, then n1 and n2 is going to be added. Initially, what is the value of n1? If I have taken a 0 and n2 is a 1, so 0 plus 1, again the next term is going to be updated as a 1 only. So this is how it goes on continue. So what do you mean by the n1 is equal to n2? So 0 plus 1 is equal to 1. Again the n1 value is going to be updated as a n2, and n2 will update into the next term, right? So this is the logic how it works. So let me check whether it is working or not. So first I need to save it. So this is a Fibonacci. Okay, enter the terms to check. Let me take it as a 2 here. So 0 and 1, so it is working. So when I use a 2 here, number of terms 2 here, which is greater than 0, then n1 and n2 are going to be printed, right? So n1 and n2 are nothing but a 0 and 1 here. So it takes the terms, user enter terms is a 2 and 2. So next term will be n1 plus n2. So let me go with the different numbers. If I use a 6 here, so 0 1 2 3, so if you go on checking it, so number of terms I have used here is a 6. Number of terms are 6. So how is works? So first two values are 0 and 1. So these two terms are going to be added. So 0 plus 1 is equal to, again it is a 1. So again first two terms will be 1 and 1 here. 1 plus 1 will be 2. Next now first 1 is going to be my first term, this one, and 2 is going to be my second term. When I add these two, then it becomes what? A 3. Now what? 2 is going to be my first and 3 is going to be my second. When you add these two, it is going to be a 5, right? So this is the value you get, 1 2 3 5, right? The same value we have got here. So 1 2 3 5. So these two are repeated, the numbers which I have taken here, right? So this is the Fibonacci series, right? So in the next class I'll explain you some more Python programming examples, like simple interest, compound interest, how to calculate by using a Python program. Okay, so till then, thank you.